You're listening to The Betty Howls Show here on CILU Radio 102.7 FM, and I have with me in the studio, hello, Renee.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good. It's a nice day out today, eh?
It's
kind of a
beautiful.
quiet, pretty snow day, not too cold.
Mm-hmm.
And at Definitely Spirit Art Gallery, we're getting ready for our next big event.
Hmm.
And I hope that people are excited about it. If you haven't heard that next Friday, February 21st from 7 to 10 p.m. at Definitely Superior Art Gallery, we're having the Def Sup Book Market and Launch.
Hmm.
And this is a celebratory night of the literary arts.
Wow.
But because we're multidisciplinary, it's not just going to be literary things going on.
Okay.
There's going to be live music and food. Like, think of a Def Sup opening reception.
Okay.
You know, that kind of idea, that
Yeah.
format.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be all kinds of different interesting things happening. The main things are that we're featuring the launch of our new Fuel anthology of poetry and prose, which features works by 50 regional writers,
Wow.
which is a rare to have a book of that breadth of writers being involved from not only Thunder Bay but Northwestern Ontario. Generally, like a lot of anthologies might have a collective or just a few writers.
Yeah.
So that's not something that has happened in Thunder Bay for many years, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
And then we're having a new street art issue of Diactive Zine being launched.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, and so you'll get to look at all the different projects that they've been doing over the last 5 years.
Oh, neat.
And we're also hosting a community book market as
Oh,
part of the event with 30 different vendors.
okay.
And so it's an opportunity to browse and shop a mega concentration of literary works by regional authors and
Definitely.
literary groups and presses. And you can hunt down some stapled zines and buy perfect bound books, and all really a diversity of forms. So that's, to my knowledge, also unique too. Generally, a book launch will be for, say, a specific publication, but not generally. I haven't heard of a community book market kind
No, I
of
haven't
aspect.
either.
So that's a really rare opportunity to browse and shop for unique limited edition kind of creative writing that's
Definitely.
coming from our community, and not just creative writing but art too, like
Yes.
art quality books.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some really interesting contributors to the book market who are going to be there.
Oh,
Some people
really?
might recognize their names.
Cool.
Well, we have Chris Merkley and Kurt Martell.
Oh, wonderful.
They're going to be selling their Nowadays graphic novel, but also Chris Merkley has a new graphic work that he's going to be selling.
Oh.
He's also going to be having some merch and things
Oh,
too.
wonderful.
So that was launched at our gallery Nowadays, and now so it's an opportunity to see his new work as well. So people may be familiar with children's lit authors like that have won
Awards?
national awards, Duncan Weller
Oh,
and Jean
fantastic.
Penswell. And,
Oh, her too.
yeah.
Wow.
And Heather McLeod, she used to be on CBC Radio. Her children's book won a People's Choice Award.
It's a great book.
Yeah, and another new author. We also have historical works by the well-respected Jean Morrison,
Oh.
who's written 4 different history books, and also another history work by Monica Belouz associated with the museum.
Oh.
And we have Emerson Street Press, which is a small book publishing house, local publishing house, and they tend to publish a lot of poetry.
Okay.
So they have new books by poetry by Douglas Livingston and John Pringle.
Oh.
And also I think he has short stories too, John Pringle. And also he's launching a new chapbook called The Sensuous Man.
Oh.
And that looks really interesting. We also have works by Aboriginal authors. So we have Raphael Moses, who is a traditional healer. His 37 years experience. He's put together kind of like a manual or a textbook of traditional healing.
Wow.
So color photographs of how to identify plants, like how many people do you know how to identify certain plants, how to process the materials, the leaves or whatever, and the uses and how to treat different conditions. And so he feels strongly about passing that knowledge on for future generations. We also have the Butterfly Collective, which is associated with Joy Asham. She's a newspaper columnist here, Aboriginal writer here in Thunder Bay, and that's more about this collective. They get together at Alpha Court and they write kind of healing stories.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Which are interesting. We also have some the major local literary groups like Northwestern Ontario Writers Workshop.
Oh, fantastic.
They'll be selling their works, and also the Writers Circle from Thunder Bay Public Library.
Wonderful.
And the Thunder Bay Public Library has come on as a promotional sponsor of the event. And the Friends of the Library are going to be selling vintage, rare, unique, kind of hand-picked books, secondhand books.
Holy moly.
So that's going to be really interesting. So you won't have to browse or click. They're just going to have the best of kind of there at their information table, too.
Neat. Wow.
There's also a new collective of writers who've started their own press called Unspeakable Press. They launched their book last week, so if you missed that, it's an opportunity to take a look at their new work. It has art, poetry, short stories, photography. We have a women's collective of authors called Paratactics, and they launched a book, I think, a year or two ago called Core Samples, and they still have a few issues left.
Interesting.
So it's an opportunity to pick up that unique work of short stories and poetry. And we're hoping also that the Artery will be there with their latest zine that was just recently launched. And we're going to be having lots of zines from Diactive collective members, people who've made their own zines, like J.L. Chung from the Gender Issue Center. And so it's really, we're aiming for 30 different vendors at this event, all in one place, all in one night.
It just sounds amazing.
It's going to be amazing. I think people are going to really enjoy it. And, you know, it's free admission. Everything's by donation. We have wonderful sponsored catering from the Sushi Bowl and Sweet Escape Cake Cafe and Bakery again.
Boy, we're getting spoiled.
We're getting spoiled, but you know, they're very generous local business. They want to relate to the community, and people seem to want to support them in return. So it's a good symbiotic relationship. We're having performances too, but maybe do you want to have a song first before we talk about that?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I chose A Heavy Snow by Julie Doiron. I thought it was kind of appropriate for today because
that sounds nice.
Her music is so calm, but it's about the snow that's falling. So
that's lovely.
I thought it would be a good choice for us.
Cool.
Okay, so let's check that out. You're listening to the Betty Howls Show here on CILU Radio 102.7 FM.
Oh, heavy snow, bury me tonight in the place where our bikes lay. Lovers in the nighttime, lovers in the day. Oh, heavy sleep, carry me away to the place where dreams be. Working in the nighttime, working in the day. Oh, heavy heart, forgive me. Make me feel like it's all okay. Living through the night and living through the day. Oh, heavy wind, come for me today. Make me feel like he once did.
And that was Julie Doiron with Heavy Snow. That's kind of a neat song, eh?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love her music.
I think it's good to play music that kind of goes with, what's happening in nature sometimes.
Me too.
Or whatever mood you want to get into, basically.
Well, in this kind of day where it's so calm and bright and slightly warm is a kind of unique winter day, I think.
For sure. And it's supposed to get warmer and warmer, apparently. Like,
Really?
It might go up to like 1 degree or something next week.
Wow. I
It's
heard that,
amazing.
but I didn't know if it was really true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All the more reason to get out of your house and come to our
I think this
Duff's
is
Up Book Market and
amazing.
launch event on Friday, February 21st.
So is this something that you guys have wanted to do for a while? And
No, it just sort of came together like an idea that we didn't want to have it just be our books. We've always wanted to. Generally, we really like that kind of outreach and collaboration, and we liked having a lot of different things happening. People always want more, and we give them more, and they're happy, and we're happy, and I think it makes for a good experience. And I think it's good to layer the different forms of arts.
definitely.
And literary arts tend to be like, okay, we're just going to have, we're going to launch our book and we're going to read and stuff. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're going to have music too. So we're going to have a kind of a projection, like cool video projection kind of presentation, launching the new gallery publications,
Nice.
the Fuel anthology and the new Dactazine. And we're going to have music by Solomon,
Oh,
who's a really well-respected hip-hop performer, and he has a couple of songs that were published in Fuel.
I was wondering if Fuel, does it have some of your Random Acts of Poetry performers in it?
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
they've been on the show then, too.
Yeah, the book reflects some of the gallery's,
Talent.
other projects,
Ah.
but also goes beyond that and has drawn in new people.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we have also a reading by William Roberts, who's also a singer-songwriter.
Okay.
And he's been a member of the gallery since the inception back in 1988.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a really wonderful storyteller
Hmm.
and singer. And he's going to read one of his story from the book, Fuel. Then he's going to sing a song that relates to the story, which were both, which it was written way back when, and based on the experience that he's writing about.
Neat.
About doing some sort of kind of brush cutting in the woods, and it's a romance and stuff. It's really cool. And then we're going to have Saskia Pateman, and she's I think she's 15 now,
Okay.
and she's part of Diactive Art Collective, and she's part of our Random Acts of Poetry
Yes.
project. And so she's going to sing some of her original songs, and she just
Okay.
moved here from England with her family, I think about a year ago, and she's an amazing talent.
Mm-hmm.
We want to mentor those future young artists in our community. We're also going to have Nick Sherman, who's a 2-time nominee for the Aboriginal People's Choice Music Awards in 2013, and he's an amazing singer-songwriter,
Wow.
really passionate. And so I think that music and those readings are be really interesting. We're also going to have Stephen Gothard, who's an amazing spoken word performer, really raw, motorcycles and whiskey and truth and all that stuff. And Aaron Stewart's going to read a piece from the book about a really unique kind of sleeping giant poem, but not stereotypical, not a postcard kind of thing. It's sort of like he's a kind of a mythological character that you would want to get to know.
Oh, interesting. She's
She's
been on the show, I think, too, to read poetry.
she's won like awards for her poetry.
Very wonderful.
Local, writing contests put up together by now.
Hmm.
So I think people are gonna really enjoy that. We're also having a special feature. I've always been an admirer of the whole idea of like Speaker's Corner, which was back in the squares, like in England, where anybody could get up on a soapbox and say their piece, whether it was politics or whatever they wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have soapbox readings. I got myself a wooden box people can stand on. Anybody attending can, bring something to read or speak or something like that. If something's on their mind, I don't mind a rant or here or there, given to the title of it, soapbox readings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also hoping that the writers that'll be there in attendance, because it is, the launch of their publications and the others selling their books, that they'll get up there and read too.
Oh, wonderful.
So It doesn't matter how good you think it is or bad it is. It's all about participation and animating the event and making it more fun and interactive.
And taking a chance to communicate your thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes people might feel a little shy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't often see poetry as part of Facebook updates, do you?
No, you don't. Or if you do, they're, either kind of ridiculed or,
or ignored.
Yeah, which because it's an intimate thing that you're doing.
You don't know how people don't know how to respond.
Yeah,
but I can guarantee you that I will be there next to that soapbox, clapping for you and helping, encouraging you to get up there if you want to. So just look for me, the lady with the red hair, and it'll be fun. So just to recap, this is the Deaf Sub Book Market and launch is a great opportunity, a unique opportunity to browse and shop a mega concentration of literary works by local, regional writers and literary groups, and to check out the new gallery publications, our new anthology Fuel, and the new street art issue zine from Diactive Art Collective.
So this is a new thing that you guys are trying, but I really think that it's going to be one of your new things you try that is just wonderful and explodes all over the city. Because this is something that's been around in other cities. Even going back in time, you could go to a zine fair in Toronto, and you see lots of people selling their zines or zines that they collected so that they'd want to trade.
Right.
So this kind of idea of coming to meet writers and artists in this kind of venue, I think, is just wonderful.
Yeah, you can browse it. You can look at it. You can ask them questions. Whether it's the author or another person, like the editor or whoever is selling the books, they know the writing quite well, and there would be something for every budget there, basically.
And every age and every interest. Yeah, definitely.
Are really, really interesting. So poetry, prose, fiction, nonfiction, graphic novels, and much, much more.
Oh, it's wonderful. Really great. So next Friday night, it's free admission by donation.
Yeah.
And so is this everybody going to be sitting throughout all three galleries?
The first gallery will be the gallery's publications, and then the other two galleries will be the community book market. So you could even, during our presentation launching our publications gallery 1, you can feel free to go around and browse and stuff like that. You don't have to feel stuck in any one space, just like all our events. You can move around and engage in what is going on that interests you at the time, because that's your freedom. And sponsored by the Thunder Bay Public Library, and they have a new head librarian who's big on outreach in the community.
Great.
And their motto is Inspire, Grow, and Connect. So they're going to be there selling their vintage used books and giving out information on the library. So be sure to stop by their table. And thank you also to LU Radio 102.7 FM for sponsoring, and the Walleye. And this is presented by our small book and zine publishing house, Burning Books Press, which serves hundreds of literary artists in Northwestern Ontario, which is funded by the Ontario Arts Council. A representative from the Ontario Arts Council, the new literary officer, will be there.
Oh, really?
Jack Illingworth. He's going to give a speech. You can meet him. So if you've ever thought you'd want to get into writing and trying to get funding for your writing, this is an opportunity to speak to the man who can send you in the right direction.
Oh, that's fabulous,
and,
too.
so that'll be a great event, I think. So we hope to see you all next Friday, February 21st, 7 to 10 p.m. for the Deaf Sup Book Market and launch.
Wonderful.